So this is a Blue Yeti X.
Yes, I know this was a while ago. I got busy, okay? Thank you.
Yeet!
Bros, literally no user manual. I think I did it. Connect to my laptop, which work. Yes, I did it, y'all. So obviously, right off the bat, I was pretty excited to have it. The only other microphone I've ever had was my phone, which is not the best. It doesn't really capture the depth of my voice. It kind of just makes it feel surface level instead of more like a full sound, if you know what I mean. And I was even so excited that I took a really nice picture of my Blue Yeti. So just to try it, I decided to record a little bit of
No spoilers!
for an upcoming project. Stay tuned. I decided to try recording it in the bathroom as I usually do. I didn't initially have the pop filter on for the first few takes, and by the end of it, it sounded like an electric guitar. I didn't bother keeping any of those takes because I just wasn't going to use them anyway, and I needed storage as much as possible. The subsequent day, I recorded again with the Blue Yeti, but this time, in addition to the pop filter, I put the foam that came with the box. Here's part of the results. The whole peaking thing was getting pretty frustrating, so I just ended up using my phone. I guess we can use it as a comparison here. So later on, I needed to record something else. It was with my voice. But I kept noticing that my Blue Yeti was disconnecting from my laptop, and I noticed that the USB plug on the bottom was kind of wiggly. I guess that was the cause of the disconnection from my laptop. So I did a bit of searching around and I couldn't find anything specifically for the Blue Yeti X, but I found stuff about the regular Blue Yeti, which mainly consisted of telling me to deconstruct the bottom and pinch the USB thing with pliers or something. I'll link the video down below. So in addition, I did some more Google searching, and I found an article telling me how to deconstruct the Blue Yeti X specifically. So first there's a rubber stopper on the bottom. I had to remove that. I ended up using a toothpick to pry that open. Under that would reveal a nail. My dad has a billion screwdrivers, so I went through every single reasonably small screwdriver he had and tested them until I found the one that would get the screw unscrewed. I was surprised that the bottom just came off and I was able to see the USB thing right away. So that's when I used pliers to pinch it. I made sure to test that the plug wouldn't wiggle by plugging in the wire that I needed to use. And once I was satisfied, I put the whole thing back together and it was time to record some other stuff.
Guess who fixed their Blue Yeti? Me, Guess who's the handy person now? Me,
So obviously with my prior knowledge, I knew that recording violin in the bathroom with my Blue Yeti X just wasn't going to work. So I decided to try recording violin stuff in the study room where I typically practice. Here's a little bit of that. So after reviewing the footage, I was pretty surprised that the audio level stayed relatively consistent even as I backed away from the microphone. I was also surprised that it didn't sound as echoey or empty because the room doesn't have any sort of sound absorbing materials in it. I think maybe I can try recording in the study room for subsequent projects, but for now I'll stick to recording in the bathroom with my phone.
It's the acoustics, okay? I can't get enough of them.
And just for fun, I decided to test out the Blue Yeti while playing the piano, which is in my living room. I can't move a piano into the bathroom. I tried an excerpt of the first movement of Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata, which is reasonably loud in some places and also quiet in some places. I was mainly concerned about whether it would peak or not. I don't have other phone footage of the Beethoven Pathetique Sonata that I can actually show you guys, so I decided to pull footage from the TSO Concerto Battle. I played the Lalo part on the piano, and it's reasonably around the same loudness as the Pathetique Sonata, so I'll show you a little bit of that. So not to my surprise, it peaked in the piano recording. So even despite the peaking problems and the USB plug thing, I would say that getting a Blue Yeti X is definitely worth it. It makes your voice sound a lot better, and I hope that in future recordings it'll make at least violin sound a lot better. I already know off the bat that piano is just not going to work unless I have a different recording space, but that's not feasible right now. Apple headphones aren't that bad, but especially since I have a lot of hair, it keeps rubbing on that microphone, a lot of hair. So I'm glad that with an external microphone, I don't have that rubbing problem. Oh yeah, it also made my finger snaps sound really good. I always think that I really suck at finger snapping. Maybe the Blue Yeti isn't the best for instruments, but it's definitely good for voice and podcasts and stuff like that. Oh yeah, fun fact, I didn't write a script for this video, so that's why I sound so dumb. Okay, so that was pretty ironic. That all recorded on my Apple headphones because, I guess my Blue Yeti disconnected. Man, I guess this USB problem is actually kind of a problem. I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep trying. I like this Blue Yeti.